To the love of my life, Bailey. As I sit here writing this letter, I am already struggling to put into words just how amazing of a person you are. We've been together for just over 7 years so far, and I've cherished every moment we've had together. I want you to know how deeply I love you and how excited I am to spend the rest of my life with you. I promise that I will always be there for you, regardless of what life brings our way. You are not only my greatest love, but my best friend. The time we spend together brings nothing but pure happiness to my life. I can't wait to see you walking down the aisle today. I'll try to hold back my tears as best I can. Forever yours, Stephane.
After all the planning and stress, the day is finally here, and I couldn't be more elated. I've been picturing this day with you for years, and to finally have it arrive fills me with love and joy. Everyone says the day will fly by, and while I'm trying to savor every moment, if it flies by, I'll still be happy. I'll be happy because it means our forever starting sooner, and I cannot wait to spend my life together with you. I want to be the reason for you to smile. It means our forever is starting sooner, and I can't wait to spend my life together with you. I want to be the reason for your smile, the wind under your wings, and your light in the darkness. My only wish is that I could be back to see you so that I could love you for longer.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call life home. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. The special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they
Could
call
everybody
us
please stand?
crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake.
just taking the time out here.
We'll figure it out. It was secure.
I know, right?
The brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams all
Everybody may be seated. You can give your bouquet to Hillary there. You are getting married, so. Well, hello everyone. I'd like to welcome you to this very special and joyous celebration. I'm Brenda Bolger, and I'm a marriage commissioner for the province of PEI. And it's a real pleasure for me to be invited here this afternoon by Bailey and Stephane to perform their marriage ceremony. Bailey and Stephane have written parts of the ceremony themselves to allow them to express to each other and before us what this occasion means to them and the commitments and aspirations they share. Quite often, people view marriage as the final step in a couple's romantic relationship. A couple meet, they start to go out, they fall in love, and then they decide to take that final step. They decide to get married. But marriage is not meant to be a final step. It's meant to be a beginning, the beginning of a grand and wonderful adventure that's full of promise and potential and has a lifetime to fulfill. So Bailey and Stephane, if you're ready to start on your grand adventure of married life together, we shall begin. All ready? Good to go? Okay. Family and friends, you have been invited here this afternoon to share with Bailey and Stephane a very important moment in their lives. In the time they've been together, their love and understanding of each other has grown and matured, and now they have decided to live their lives as husband and wife. By your presence, you are giving recognition to the worth and beauty of their love and adding your best wishes to the words that you'll like them in marriage. Bailey and Stephane would first like to thank you, their family and friends, for your love and support, and also like to thank everybody for coming to join in on their special day. This happy couple did not get here all by themselves. They have been loved and cared for by their families, depending upon them for sustenance, knowledge, guidance, and love. Without them, this day would not be possible. From this day forward, Bailey and Stephane will still need that support, but in different ways. With this in mind, I ask Kathy and Chris, as representatives of your family, will you take this man, Stephane, into your family and into your hearts? Bailey's parents. And Andrea and Andre, as representatives of your family, will you take this woman, Bailey, into your family and into your hearts?
We will.
Stephane's parents. May the welcoming love and commitment from your families act as a foundation of the love and commitment you'll have for one another in the years to come. Bailey and Stephane, this afternoon you were openly declaring your love for one another. May you always remember and cherish this moment. Marriage is understood by us as a state enriched by a long and honorable tradition of devotion. According to the law, each partner is equal and supports the common rights to the marriage. Marriage is a union not to be entered into lightly nor ill-advisably, but voluntarily and respectfully. Marriage is not just a ceremony here today. It is a long-term commitment. It is entered into with a desire and firm intention that it will last for a lifetime. And it's with this full understanding that you both stand before us and wish to be joined in marriage. Bailey and Stephane, as you venture on this road of marriage, you'll soon realize that marriage is perhaps the greatest and most challenging adventure of human relationships. No ceremony can create your marriage. Only you can do that through love and patience, through dedication and perseverance, through talking, listening, helping and believing in each other, through tenderness and laughter, through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate your differences, and learning to make the important things matter and let go of the rest. What this ceremony can do is to witness and affirm the choice you make to stand together as lifelong soulmates. Life together will hopefully be playful and effortless, but sometimes it will be frustrating and difficult. However, each day your relationship will strengthen and grow if you choose to continue to love and honor one another and always support one another in everyday living. I now call upon you both in the presence of these witnesses to repeat after me. And we'll start first with you, Stephane. I do solemnly declare
I do solemnly declare
that I do not know
that I do not know
of any lawful reason
of any lawful reason
why I, Stephane Charles-Andre Levesque,
why I, Stephane Charles-Andre Levesque,
may not be joined in marriage
may not be joined in marriage
with Bailey Margaret Marie Jones.
with Bailey Margaret Marie Jones.
Now, Bailey, I do solemnly declare
I do solemnly declare
that I do not know
that I do not know
of any lawful reason
of any lawful reason
why I, Bailey Margaret Marie Jones,
why I, Bailey Margaret Marie Jones,
may not be joined in marriage
may not be joined in marriage
with Stephane Charles-Andre Levesque.
with Stephane Charles-Andre Levesque.
As no reasons were declared or admitted, please answer these questions by saying I do. Do you, Stephane, promise to give to this woman your love, your comfort, your companionship, your patience, and your understanding? Will you share with her equally the necessities of life as they may be earned and enjoyed by yourself, and to respect the dignity of her own personal rights?
I do.
Do you, Bailey, promise to give to this man your love, your comfort, your companionship, your patience, and your understanding? Will you share with him equally the necessities of life as they may be earned and enjoyed by yourself, and to respect the dignity of his own personal rights?
I do.
To better express their thoughts on this day, Stephane and Bailey have selected 2 readings to be included in their ceremony, and we'll now have the first reading. It is from the Bible, 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 12, and it will be read by Pearl Yeager, Stephane's aunt.
Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of the childhood behind me. For now we see only reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these 3 remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
I have some here too, Bailey. Okay. Can everybody still hear? Okay. We are going to get this couple married. Every couple has a love story. And before I marry a couple, and with the couple's permission, I like to share some of that love story with the guests at their wedding. It gives us all some background as how we all ended up here today, and it also gives the couple time to reflect back on the relationship. So I'm going to ask Stephane and Bailey to continue to hold hands for a few moments while I share part of their love story. So how did this all begin? How did we end up here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon? Well, a lot of credit for this relationship has to go to Cameron Jenkins, Stephane's best man and very good friend. Take credit there, Stephane. If it were not for his efforts, this relationship would not have gotten off the ground. You see, both Bailey and Stephane are very, very shy and quite quiet. Cameron first introduced Bailey and Stephane at a campfire in Cameron's backyard in the late June of 2016. I think it was the end of the school year. Yeah. What was really strange about this first meeting was they found out later that they had actually traveled on the same school bus for a full year, that past year, and never noticed one another. There were not enough chairs at the campfire, so Cameron told Stephane that he could go and sit on the ground at Bailey's feet. If Cameron thought something magical was going to happen, he was sorely disappointed. Nothing did. They hardly spoke to one another all evening. However, I think Stephane was very much aware that Bailey was there, because the next day he asked Cameron for her full name so he could become friends with her on Facebook. In early July, he messaged her asking her if she would like to hang out sometime. A few days later, a bunch of their friends, including Cameron, all went out on a group date to the drive-in. During the movie, and through the collective efforts of friends, they finally got them to hold hands. Eventually, they went out on their first date to Swiss Chalet and back to Stephane's apartment to watch a Netflix movie. And I believe Bailey said he had a poor choice or had a weird choice in movies. Yep. Stephane's parents were moving to Ottawa, and his mother Andrea remembers Stephane calling and saying, "I've met this girl, and would you like to meet her before you go back to Ottawa?" And this ended with the couple going to dinner at Stephane's parents' place. As time went on, the relationship continued to develop. The couple learned they shared a lot of interest: eating out, video games, Netflix movies, socializing with friends, and collecting their zoo, which currently consists of an aquarium of fish, their black cat Cinder, and 2 guinea pigs named Flint and Blaze. Stephane said Bailey likes to keep the fire name in the names of her animals. Okay. With time, Stephane became very much a part of the Jones family, to the point that Chris commonly referred to Stephane as Loverboy. 3 years go by, and in 2020, COVID hit. With all the restrictions, Bailey had to decide where she was going to stay. She could not keep going from parents' place to Stephane's place, so naturally, guess what she chose? Stephane's place. By 2021, Stephane knew he wanted to marry Bailey. He first discussed the idea with Kathy. I think he was just sort of testing the waters, let's just say. Thank you, Bailey. And when she approved, he proceeded on to Chris. Chris, in turn, certainly gave him their blessing. Anyway, in March, Stephane booked a room at the Great George Inn under the pretense that they were going out on the town to celebrate his birthday. They checked in, and then they went out to dinner. While they were out, Stephane had arranged with the staff at the Great George to spread all these rose petals around the room. When they returned and Bailey walked into this very romantic setting, Stephane wasted no time in asking her to marry him. Bailey gave an enthusiastic yes, and that family and friends is how we all ended up here today. And I want to thank Stephane and Bailey for allowing me to share their love story. Bailey and Stephane, from then until now, and no doubt over the last while, you have been making promises and agreements to one another in a very informal way. All those conversations that you had while eating out at your favorite restaurant, or traveling to Ottawa, or playing with Cinder, all those sentences and late night talks that included when we're married and continued with I will and you will and we will, all those common everyday things are the real process of a marriage. The symbolic vows that you're about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know, all those things we hoped and dreamed and promised? Well, I meant it all, every word. Now I ask that you look at one another, and I ask that you remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you've been many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, fellow pet lover, and even teacher, for you've learned much from one another in the last 7 years. Now you shall say a few words that will take you across the threshold of life, and things will never be quite the same between you. For after these vows, you shall say to the world, "This is my husband, and this is my wife." Bailey and Stephane, no other human ties are more tender and special than those you're about to assume. Stephane, would you please repeat after me? I call upon those people present
I call upon those people present
to witness that I, Stephane Charles Andre Levesque,
to witness that I, Stephane Charles Andre Levesque,
do take you, Bailey Margaret Marie Jones,
do take you, Bailey Margaret Marie Jones,
to be my lawful wedded wife,
to be my lawful wedded wife,
my constant friend,
my constant friend,
my faithful partner,
my faithful partner,
and my love from this day forward.
and my love from this day forward.
In the presence of our family and friends,
In the presence of our family and friends,
I vow to be your faithful partner
I vow to be your faithful partner
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
in good times and in bad,
in good times and in bad,
and in joy as well as sorrow.
and in joy as well as sorrow.
I promise to honor and respect you,
I promise to honor and respect you,
to laugh with you and cry with you,
to laugh with you and cry with you,
and to cherish and love you
and to cherish and love you,
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall live.
There you go. Just take your time. Here, I can take those. Okay, I have more here. Okay, Bailey, when you're ready, would you please repeat after me? I call upon these people present
I call upon these people present
to witness that I, Bailey Margaret Marie Jones,
to witness that I, Bailey Margaret Marie Jones,
do take you, Stephane Charles Andre Levesque,
do take you, Stephane Charles Andre Levesque,
to be my lawful wedded husband.
to be my lawful wedded husband.
Before everyone present,
Before everyone present,
I vow to love and care for you
I vow to love and care for you
for as long as we both shall live.
for as long as we both shall.
I take you with all your faults and strengths
I take you with all your faults and strengths,
as I offer myself to you
as I offer myself to you
with all my faults and
with
strengths.
all my faults and strengths.
I will help you when you need help,
I will help you when you need help,
and I will turn to you when I need help.
and I will turn to you when I need help.
I choose you as the person
I choose you as the person
with whom I will spend my life.
with whom I will spend my life.
We'll now have the second reading entitled The Art of Marriage, and it will be read by Carmen Gould, a family friend of Stephane's from his birth.
Congratulations.
The Art of Marriage by Wilford Arlen Peterson. Happiness in marriage is not something that just happens. A good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. It is at no time taking the other for granted. The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue through the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together, facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers the whole family. It is doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which we in each can grow old. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. It is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner.
Wedding rings are adornments carefully chosen for their beauty and for their simplicity. They quietly sit upon our fingers, reminding us of the power of love and the pledge of the wearer to his or her partner to be faithful and true and to nurture their love so it will last a lifetime. So, Stephane, do you have a ring for Bailey?
Yes, I do.
Could you please place it on the third finger of her left hand and repeat after me? As a symbol
As a symbol,
of how endlessly happy you make me,
how endlessly happy you make me,
I give you this ring, Bailey,
I give you this ring daily,
so you and the whole world will know
so you and the whole world will know
how much I will always love you.
how much I will always love you.
Okay, Bailey, do you have a ring for Stephane?
Yes.
Could you please place it on the third finger of his left hand and repeat after me? This ring is my gift to you.
This ring is my gift to you.
May it always remind you,
May it always remind you,
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
you will be surrounded by my love.
you will always be surrounded by my love.
May these rings be for you your most treasured adornments, and may the love they symbolize be your most treasured possession. We're now going to go off to the right here, and we'll have the signing of the registry, and I will have Hillary and Carmen join us. Cameron join us. Now may the love which has brought you together continue to grow and enrich your lives. May you meet with courage any problems which arise to challenge you. May your marriage be one of ever-growing depth and meaning. May you always respect the uniqueness of each other. May your communication always be clear and honest, and may your relationship always be one of love and trust. May the happiness you share today be with you always, and may every word you've pledged here be a living truth in your lives. Bailey and Stephane, you have consented in marriage and have declared your solemn intentions before these witnesses and in my presence. You've exchanged rings as a pledge of your love for one another. By virtue of the powers vested in me by the Marriage Act of PEI, I, Brenda Bulger, pronounce Stephane Charles Andre Levesque and Bailey Margaret Marie Jones as husband and wife. You may seal your vows with a kiss. You need another Kleenex? There you go. Do you need one?
No,
Sure? Okay.
I have two in my pocket.
And now it's my privilege to introduce for the first time Mr. Stephane and Mrs. Bailey Levesque.
Next, we have Carly Snell and Shez and Casper. welcome our newlyweds, Bailey and Stephane Levesque.
Okay, everybody, I hope everyone had a great meal. Let's give a round of applause to the Delta staff, please.
Just covering your face.
Oh, okay. Gotta get the money maker.
There you go, yeah.
Okay, I have the pleasure of introducing a plethora of out-of-town guests. When Kathy sent me the MC script, and I got to the out-of-town guests, I thought I was swiping through Tinder. I also thought we may need to pay the Delta a little extra to get through them all. There's a lot of love in this room, a lot of support for our newlyweds. 1/3 of the wedding guests are from across Canada, so many that we have filled the hotels, motels, Airbnbs, and even the newlyweds' home. So starting at table 1, we have the parents of the groom. We have Andrea and Andre Levesque. We also have the groom's grandparents, Margaret and Carl Yeager. Margaret and I are besties already. And the groom's godmother, Faith Alboda. And they're all from Ontario.
Now look, I did pronounce someone's name badly. I apologize to the parents. But think about it. Christopher, that's what I called him when he was a kid. So hey, it's all good. So next at table 2, from the bride's side of the family, traveling from New Brunswick, introduce my wife, Susan. Well, come on, get the onto the bride. My daughter, Justine. She was up here giving the grace. My grandson, Arthur Hobbs, and my daughter, Samantha, who I guess we're all. Now, traveling from Ontario, we have my sister, Gail, and her daughter, Lisa, obviously Bailey's cousin, and Ray Maddock, her husband. At table 3, from the groom's side, all from Ottawa, we have Uncle Andy, Aunt Pearl, and cousin Abby Yeager. We also have Mike, Danny, Sandra O'Clair, Cynthia, and Samuel Davis, all cousins of the groom. At table 4, please welcome all from Halifax, Gordie and Janice McEwen, cousins of the bride. Next, we have Corporal Connor and Corporal Logan McEwen, active members of Canada's Armed Forces, and their partners, Sarah Hellingworth and Taylor Rafuse. Now we're going to go over to table 6. Carmen Gould and Jeff Nolan, friends of the groom and both from Ontario. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause to our out-of-town guests? Thank you.
Okay.
Geez, you got the gun there.
So I did bring this just in case my dad got off track, because he's known to thank like generations of people that have passed away. So this is for your own good, people. So far, so good. Okay, so I got a call from my PEI family a little while back, and Bailey asked me in her softest and quietest voice if I would be her MC along with my dad. I was quite shocked that she would ask me that, because I've never done anything like this in my life, as you can tell. And I really don't even know Bailey that well, or I didn't know Bailey that well. And I met Stephane once, and he doesn't even remember that, so. So when When I asked Bailey why she chose me, she verbatim said, "You say whatever you want and you have no filter. So bitch, this is your own fault and you're getting what you asked for." So I took the opportunity to visit and get to know the bridal party. I found out that Bailey's girls love her fiercely, despite having to track her whereabouts, literally with tracking apps, because she isn't the best at communication. Stephane's boys describe him as reliable, yet indecisive. They're hype man and have nicknamed him Dad or the Adult. Interestingly enough, Bailey's girls also have a nickname for Stephane, the receptionist, because he's the message taker for Bailey. When I met the bridal party at what I called the Pigeon House, because I didn't know it was actually the Pilot House, we had a reservation under the name Stephanie. We all learned that the groomsmen and bridesmaids actually like each other. It's interesting what you discover when a strange, outspoken woman awkwardly asks personal questions in a public restaurant. At the end of my visit, Kathy asked me if I now knew why Bailey chose me as an MC. Apparently, Bailey thinks she will be me in 15 years. I also said, bitch, stay alive because things are gonna get interesting. Truly, I have to thank you, Bailey and Stephane, for including myself and my dad in this wedding. It is an honor to be your MC, and I'm so grateful because we have become so much closer. Now, let's get started with tonight's speeches. First up is the best man, dark and dark lover, Cameron Jenkins.
Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Cameron. I was the one who introduced Stephane and Bailey. Thank you.
Good job, Cameron.
I want to start off, just thanks Stephane's parents for coming all the way out to PEI. Welcome back. And I want to thank Bailey's parents for raising her, the wonderful woman that my friend gets to spend the rest of his life with. I want to thank all you guys for helping organize this wonderful event. It was very well planned. Yeah, good job. So, Stephane's family has probably noticed that a couple of us call his name a little bit different. Some of you might blame me because I introduced him to a lot of people, but I like to blame him a little bit because he waited like 4 years after I learned his name to tell me that I'm saying it wrong. So now everybody says it wrong. And I think he'll say Stephane for the rest of our lives. Now, I guess you guys heard about the story where I introduced these two people, but I'd like to give a couple more details on what happened that night. Nothing scandalous or anything. No. So, yeah, you heard how we forced them to hold hands that night, but the atmosphere, the atmosphere that night was a little bit less than romantic. I think the movie that was on was maybe like Cars 2, or like Moana or something like that. So I think it's easy to say that in no world that should have worked out, but these two are just too well matched. I couldn't have screwed it up if I tried. So here's to Stephane and Bailey, two of my favorite people in the world, and they get to spend the rest of their lives together. And see you all on the dance floor.
Thank you so much, Cameron. Okay, so now, now we will hear from the maid of honor, the family's memory keeper, Hillary Jones.
All right, so as many of you know, I'm Hillary. I am the bride's oldest sister. There's only two of us. And I'd like to start off by thanking my parents and Stephane's parents for putting this all together. And a very big thank you to Megan and David for making sure that this went off without too many hitches. Yes. So when I was 4, I found out that I was getting a little sister. And this was probably a few days before she came. As most of you know, both of me and my sister are adopted. And it was just kind of one of those things where within a few days they were told that she was coming. So there wasn't too much preparation we could do. I was really excited that I was getting a younger sister. I thought she'd be like a mini-me. I was wrong. In so many ways. I mean, I would play Barbies and she would take a giant teddy bear and play like, you know, this teddy bear is gonna destroy your town of Barbies, and you know, just also like whenever I would be, I liked Disney princesses, and you know, Bailey wasn't a Disney princess fan. She was more into superheroes than Disney princesses or the villains. She really loved the villains in the Disney princesses franchise. But we did go to a brunch whenever we were in Disney, probably when I was about 8 and she was probably 5 at the time. And I loved it. And she cried the whole time because I had the pen that she wanted. So in some ways, she's a little similar. She was like, I need to have the same pen as my sister. So, of course, being Disney, they go to the gift shop and they get her that same pen, even though the day before she didn't like that pen. So, you know. And even though we have our differences, we also have lots of similarities. We both enjoyed camping every summer at Marco Polo Land. Where she would make friends with anyone. I don't know if any of you know this, but when she was little, she would go up to literally anybody and start talking to them and making friends with them. Now she's so shy, she gets other people to go ask the person at the store for another size. So, usually the girls. And that's what, you know, made Stephane and Bailey connect. It was kind of through, they're both kind of more reserved than other people. Throughout the years, Bailey's gone from an extrovert to an introvert. Very much so introverted now, where she was a little bubbly extrovert when she was little. But whenever Bailey and Stephane first met, Bailey was kind of shy about it. She told us that she had met a guy, that her friends had introduced her to this guy, and you know, she was like, he's all right. Like, she didn't really have like too much enthusiasm at first. But I think it was when they both kind of showed more mutual interest in each other that he quickly swooped her off her feet. There were times when he would come over and clean her room for her. And if you all know Bailey, she didn't clean her room, like ever. So she was the one that needed to clean her room, and I usually was the one that would clean it for her, and she would sit there and supervise. I'd even go to her classrooms when we were in the same school together, and I would clean out her desk, and she would sit there and be like, that's in the trash, that's keep. So she's never been a very organized person. And then she met Stephane, and he was more of an organized person. So I think that's what really clicked them together, was just, you know, some of their differences. She was like, okay, he's got some strengths that I don't have, and she's got the strength that he doesn't have. So she's the one we call on when we need furniture moved. But he's the one we call on when there's anything wrong with the TV, the printer, the laptop, like anything. He's our tech guy in the family. And he's become quite the staple of our family. He's been welcomed in by my parents and myself with open arms and open hearts. He even helped us connect when we were in Orlando, and we all got separated when we were trying to go to a water park, and 2 hours of being separated, Bailey finally was like, you know what, I'm gonna use the iPad that we have in the room to call Stephane in Ottawa, and he's gonna call Hillary on her phone. So they did that so that we could finally connect and go to the water park, and we were bickering the whole way there, but he was very helpful in calling me to make sure that we all found each other. But he's also been Bailey's chauffeur. He's been Bailey's receptionist. He's been there for Bailey through her ups, and he's been there for Bailey through her downs. So here's a toast to the happy couple, because now, Stephane, it's your turn to deal with her and her disorganized ways. Thank you. Cheers.
Well, I could see in Chris's eyes, and they're blurry at this point, but hey, what a wonderful sister, Bailey. You have a wonderful sister, and very, very touching comments, very sincere. So, look, I think it's important that we hear from the groom's parents. So I'm going to call up Andrea and Andre Levesque and to give a few words.
All right, I'll start it off.
He's better at public speaking.
Well, you know what? For those who may not know, Andrea and I and Stephane lived on the island for 3 years, and at the end of the month of August, just a couple days ago, it was exactly 10 years ago that we arrived on this beautiful island. 3 years into it, found out that I was going back to Ottawa. I was working for Veterans Affairs. I was going back to Ottawa. Stephane had finished his grade 12. He finished Holland College. We're literally packing away at the end of August, all our clothes, all our stuff, everything, selling everything that we couldn't bring back. And during the last 2 weeks, he comes back and tells us, Mom and Dad, I think I met someone I really like. And we're going, are you kidding us? We're on the island for 3 years. You wait for the last week to tell us that you met someone you really like? So you can imagine we were just frustrated because he should have got Cameron to move.
Yeah,
his
I blame
plane.
Cameron. Cameron should have worked faster.
Got to blame somebody. But nonetheless, we did have a chance to have a one dinner with Bailey, and it was a great first meeting. And then we continued our long distant relationship, if I can say. And then we came every year for a couple of weeks, and then obviously met the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And we hit it off right off the bat. It was great. It was fantastic. Almost unbelievable that you have other in-laws that you actually get along with. And well, we all know how those stories can go, but in this case, we're very, very fortunate that we happen to live in the same neighborhood, same kind of backgrounds and things like that. Most of all is that when Stephane was describing the person that he met, knowing that he is some kind of a bit of an introvert, didn't know how well he could write, and I'll let Andrea tell you that. But he tells me, I met this person who loves video games. loves television and Netflix and all those things, but most of all, and I was so happy for this one. Oh, she loves roller coasters. You know why I love this? Yes. Because when Stephane was young, I did the dad thing, and I went on all those rides. And while he's going like this, yeah, I'm having so much fun. Here I'm going, oh my God, is it over? I'm closing my eyes. To the point that the last one I had a headache for 2 days. So that's why I love the fact that those two like to go on roller coasters. So when we go to Florida or other places and they want to go on roller coasters, I go, carry on. We're gonna wait for you. Go 10 times, but I'm staying right here. So that's my half. I'm gonna let Andrea tell you the rest of the half, but I wanted to share with you how proud that we are not only of our son, but with Bailey being such a close, tight-knit couple. We're immensely happy and proud to have both of us within our family, and I'll let Andrea finish the story.
I'm short. Yes, we are very happy and proud to have Bailey join our family. And we have seen how much she loves Stephane, and obviously Stephane loves her. And we're so happy for them to get married and spend the rest of their lives together. And I'm particularly happy that they love animals, because we don't have our pet anymore, and we're not going to be getting one, I don't think. So I'm happy that I get to play with Cinder and get to watch the two guinea pigs have fun in their playpen and their aquarium. And when Stephane and Bailey came to visit us in Ottawa, in 2017, they took the train, and it was quite a little adventure for them coming that way. And we ended that 2-week vacation with taking them to a local zoo. And I wasn't sure if Bailey was going to come in the car with us at the end of the day. They were almost kicking us out at closing time. And then we went for poutine at St. Albert. The best poutine in all of Ontario, I would say. And we were so happy that we got to spend 2 weeks with them in Ottawa and show Bailey around. And then they came back to Ottawa another time, and yes, we had to take them to Canada's Wonderland. And they're going, good, you can enjoy yourselves for 3 days. I'm not going on any ride. I have Andre to talk to. Usually I'm just the bag watcher when Andre had to go with Stephane. But no, they certainly have a lot in common, and loving families and extended families. I'm so blessed to have met a lot of Jones and McEwens and, cousins and everybody, and especially Aunt Dorothy. Such a sweetheart. And and thanks to everyone that came. I know some of you had to come from quite a distance, and look forward to seeing Bailey and Stephane enjoy their future, and wish them all the best. Love you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Last thing I'm going to say about the writing. So,
Yeah, well, you remember it better than me anyway.
so the story goes is that our son, being a techie, and you know, in college and all those things, you think my son barely reads or writes, and it was only then that I found out how much the things that he wrote to Bailey, fantastically romantic, and at first I thought he copied it somewhere. I said, I did not know that my son actually knew how to write, and so beautifully, and that's when it came to me that yes, he can write. So that's my story. I stick to it just to prove that love conquers all. Thank you, everyone.
You know what? That was from the heart. That wasn't a script, and I tell you, it even brought tears to my eyes. I don't have a son, but if I had a son and he was getting married, I don't think I could say as lovely things as Andre and Andrea had said for their son. Just fantastic. So without ado, I'm going to ask my twin brother and his wife to come up. No, people have asked me. They said, "Is Chris your older twin?" So Kathy with a K and Chris, could you come up and give a little talk here?
So I'm not the talker in the family, so I'm going to let Kathy. She's got a well-scripted speech, but I did want to say a few words. And Stephane, we're so happy to have you as a son. Now we have tech support. I haven't lost my bass fishing buddy Thursday nights, but you know that Thursday night, Stephane, she's occupied at dusk till midnight. We'll be out on the surf. So I'm happy to have you in our family, and I love you both. So Kathy's got a well-scripted speech here.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. It's been quite a day. It's been a day full of emotions. It's been a day full of happiness, and it's been a day full of joy. And just so you know, my dear sweet husband, we've been married 39 years this year, together for 41. And you know what? He loves us so much that when he gets up to speak about anything about our daughters or myself, he gets quite emotional. And I have to tell you, his family were taking bets about what time he was going to cry at today. And Gail won. She had the earliest time.
10 minutes.
So I just want to say good evening to everybody, and I just want to give a special shout out to our families for being here tonight. As many of you know, our family has gotten quite small over the last few years. And so to have my nephew Gordy and his wife Janice and our two handsome great nephews, Connor and Logan, both active servicemen. I mean, I think we need to give these guys a big round of applause for serving our country. And their beautiful partners, Sarah and Taylor. I'm so thrilled that you guys are here. And so this is the Clan McEwen table. They're Highlanders. And my cousin Pam and her husband Alan. Meow, that's an inside joke. Anybody wants to hear that story at Alan's expense, hit me up later. All right. And certainly our Jones family as well. I mean, we're so blessed. So blessed. I'm so blessed to be a member of the Jones family. We got together last night and the belly laughs. I think you guys may notice that Gary and Chris look alike, and Gail looks very much like them as well. Unfortunately, their other sister, Susan, is dealing with some family matters and couldn't be here this evening. But you know what I always say, Chris and Gary are twins, 14 years apart, separated along the way type of thing. So, yeah. You're starting to sneeze, okay. And you know what? Congratulations to the joy of my life, my little bee, May. Sweetheart, you have looked your most beautifulness today, and that is because I know how much you love Stephane, and how much you were looking forward to this day, and how much she just wants to have fun today. So, yeah. And Stephane, lover boy, we are so proud to welcome you to the Jones family. And I mean, I feel a little bit strange when I say that because you're already part of the family and you have been for 7 years. So Sunday nights is family dinner night at our place, and Stephane makes a point of making sure they're not anywhere else but in Stratford and available to come with Cinder, their cat, for Sunday supper. So it just happens. And the 6 of us, Auntie included, and Auntie is the honorary grandmother this evening. Just if any of you wonder why we're walking down the aisle together, because she has played that role with both Hillary and Bailey, and particularly with Bailey, who was only 5 when my mother passed away. So she's stepped up and she's played that role, and thank you, Dorothy. I love you very much. Bailey, we are proud of you for so many reasons, sweetheart, but we're particularly proud of you in your choice of partner, because you have found someone who shares the very same values that you were raised with. And those values are values of respect, of honesty, of kindness, and particularly values that are very, very important in our family. And those are the values of respect for equity, diversity, and inclusion. And that's who you are. That's in your bones, and we know that. And that's in Stephane as well. So the two of you, as Cameron said earlier, were just predestined to be together. This is where Chris is really going to start crying. Any more bets at the Jones table? So, as many of you know, Chris and I, Hillary and Bailey, did not become a family easily. After several years of wanting to have children, our dear friend Paula LeBlanc, right over there at that table, called me over for a chat one night. During this visit, she shared with me how she had been guided by her priest in Calgary to pray to St. Gerard for her cousin, who had also been struggling to have children. A short time later, her cousin Mary Beth had a child through adoption, then a second child through adoption, and then 2 biological children. But I only knew about the first child when I'm going to the story I'm about to tell you. So later that year, in September of 2014, Chris and I visited St. Anne de Beaupré in Quebec. And as many of you know, it's a holy shrine for miracles. So you walk in there, it's a beautiful church to start with, but you walk in and there's crutches hanging from the ceilings. So I looked around the perimeter and there were all kinds of saints. Well, as my cousin Pam would tell you, we're not Catholic. In fact, she's a practicing Presbyterian and I'm not. So I thought, one of you dudes has got to be St. Gerard. So I looked around, I found St. Gerard, and at the time I thought St. Gerard was the patron saint of children, but I've since learned that he was the patron saint of expectant mothers. So I knelt and I said a prayer to St. Gerard. 4 months later, we were blessed to have Hillary come to us. And almost 4 years to the day, we welcomed Bailey. Never thinking that we would be so incredibly blessed twice, we gave away all of our baby items. Most of them went to my niece, Lisa Maddock in Ontario, who had 2 girls in between Hillary and Bailey. But with the help of others, we scrambled together, and Chris, Hillary, and I welcomed Bailey. And I will never forget, Bailey was 3 months when she came into our life. And when we went to pick her up, she was actually being cared for by a family before she came to us. And we went to pick her up, and Hillary, as she said, was so excited to have a baby sister. So the foster mom had her own son, who was 4 at the time too, and he was holding Bailey, and Hillary started to cry because she said, "That's my sister." And I have to tell you, when Bailey came to us, we just had this sense about her, this sense of spirit. So she came to us, she was wearing 4 diapers at the time because she was being investigated for a possible hip dislocation. She was taking medication for acid reflux, and she was being monitored for hypothyroidism. But this kid blasted through every barrier that was put in front of her. And we knew through that she was an incredible spirit, and we were so blessed to have her. So I have to tell you, Bailey has just brought so much joy into our family. So she's had a lot of very sweet nicknames over the years. And so the first name that she was given was the Bailster. And then her sister loved her so much that she became the Yummy Yummy Bailster. And then she became Tutter because we went to Disney World, and I don't know if you guys remember The Bear in the Big Blue House, but there was a little tiny sweet little mouse in that children's show called Tutter. So we ended up calling Bailey Tutter. Then she became Tutter Who Likes Butter. And now, as many of you have heard, we call her B-May. But let me tell you a little story about Bailey's name. So both of our daughters, we thought it was really important that they had a name that was unique to them. So Hillary and Bailey are unique names to them. We wanted them to have a family name. So Hillary's second name is Catherine, and Bailey's second name, after both my mother and Chris's aunt, is Margaret. And their third names are their birth names. So we wanted them to have a piece that was unique to them, a piece that was part of our family, and to retain a part of their birth family as well. But we just call her B-May, or Sweetheart, or Honey, or Sunshine. Bailey's spirit and spunk has led us many moments that we have just said, led to us having many moments that we just say, wow, this kid is brilliant. And this started with her frequent debates with her dad, particularly when driving on a family outing. And Bailey, many of you may not know this about Bailey, but she's a really strong debater. So when she was about 3, she'd be in her car seat in the back seat, and she and her dad would have debates about things like poverty. And I'm not kidding when I say she was 3. How do you get food to people who need food? And so the debate would go on, and Chris would say something, and then I'd hear Bailey's tiny little voice going, no. And then she would say something. So I had to turn to Chris at one point when I was driving and say, do you realize you're arguing with a 3-year-old? But it was almost uncanny, that intelligence that we still see in her today. And you know what? Most times she won the debate. So Bailey's growing up years were also filled with joy and the most treasured friends. Starting with Cassie and Carly in grade 1, and then Ashley in grade 7. Bailey, I know that you could not possibly have more loving friends. These beautiful girls have been right there with you through every part of your life, and in particular over the last 7 years. And they have stood by you through the wedding, and Hillary too, in the most incredible of ways. But you know what? They've had some good times. Frequent sleepovers, and today we had Bailey's yellow bear and Cassie's blue bear that went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with every sleepover. Nights camping, school trips, trips to the States and Mexico. You all have beautiful friendship memories. Bailey, you're really blessed, and I know you know that, to have these girls and their families who are over here at this table, and I thank you for raising beautiful daughters to the Snells and to the Littles and to the Bairds. Ladies, you have all grown into beautiful, smart, capable, and kind young women, and always know we love you like our own. And what about these dudes? I mean, look at these guys. Aren't they handsome? And these guys have just been wonderful friends to Stephane, and I particularly remember the sweet little boy with red curly hair and a sweet smile who started grade 1 in Mrs. Metashevitz's class with Bailey and Cassie. Cameron, we thank you for introducing Bailey and Stephane. And our dear, sweet, sweet Stephane. Steph, to us, we've watched you grow from a quiet, shy 20-year-old into the strong, capable, smart man you are today. We love you like a son, and we know that you are not only good to Bailey, you are good for Bailey. Thank you for loving our daughter in the manner she deserves to be loved. We know that you two were predestined to be together, and yes, Cameron, we give you all the credit for introducing the two of them. Bailey and Stephane, we wish you joy and happiness in the good times. May your love sustain you in the hard times, and may you always remember just how happy you are today. We love you both to the moon and back. And Bailey, I just have something that I'd like to say to you. We love you so much. And there's a little saying about adopted children, and that is, not flesh of my flesh, not bone of my bone, but miraculously my own. My darling child, you didn't grow under my heart, you grew in it. We love you, sweetheart. Cheers to the bride and groom.
I'll just give them a few moments to step off, but does anybody remember what Chris said? I'll just wait till they get off the stand here before they
There's something in the
before
air.
you get off. And that's Kathy with a K, by the way.
And these heels have got to go.
She's going to kick me, I'm sure.
Never.
I just want to add a couple of things with what Kathy with a K and my younger brother Chris said. You've heard the phrase that talking about Stephane and Loverboy. Did you hear that? A couple of times. Chris used it this afternoon during the wedding, called him a Loverboy. And I don't know whether someone up here called him Loverboy. And when my daughter was up here a few weeks back, getting some stories and tidbits from you people, one of the stories that came out, and I'm just going to mention this. I guess a few months back, just before Chris retired, he came out of the washroom, and Kathy with a K said, "Oh, you look good, Chris." Chris, of course, he pushed out his chest, and Kathy looked down. No, and he looks down and says, "Oh my God, he had Stephane's underwear on." Now look, this is true. Don't be judgmental unless you've walked in his shoes. You can't be judgmental. But I understand that it was quite an uplift for both for both Kathy and Chris. So I'll leave it at that. Okay. Yeah. Andre, I know what we're thinking. Okay, what about Stephane? Yeah. Okay. Stephane, Bailey, come on up. You can redeem yourself. That's a true story. That's a true story about Chris.
Alrighty, everyone. Hello. As my dad has said, I can be quite a good writer and quite romantic, but I'm also an introvert, so that's not what you're getting tonight. Bailey and I are just over the moon to see you, all of our friends, family, and all the amazing folks who made it here today. We're seriously thankful that so many of you came from across Canada to be here with us. Your love and support means the world to us, and it wouldn't be the same without you. I want to take a moment to acknowledge my parents, Andrea and Andre, and Bailey's parents, Kathy and Chris. Your love and support have guided us throughout our lives, and today we stand here, a testament to your demonstrations of love and commitment. To our wonderful wedding party, we couldn't have asked for a better group of friends to stand by our side on this special day. You've made us feel like we've hit the jackpot. Cameron, you're the best man anyone could ask for. Lost my spot here, as usual. Ryan, Gordon, and Chaz, you guys are absolute legends. Thanks for sticking with me. And to Bailey's sister and maid of honor, Hillary Jones, and bridesmaids Ashley Baird, Cassie Little, and Carly Snell. Your support and love for Bailey has been a constant in her life. Thank you for being her rock. As for Bailey and I, it's difficult to put into words just how much we mean to each other. Bailey, your kindness, your laughter, and your support are the reasons I fell in love with you. You've brought so much joy and love into my life, and I can't wait to continue this journey together as husband and wife. Today has been a whirlwind of emotions and unforgettable moments. From the moment we walked down the aisle and exchanged our vows, every second has been a cherished memory. It's a day that we'll hold close to our hearts forever, and thank you all for being part of our love story.
Thank you so much, guys. That was really beautiful. So I didn't need to use this. Dad did okay. I thought he was going a little astray with that story, but he nailed it. Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, okay, I'll keep it close. Keep it close. Okay, so now we are going to play the shoe game. So we'll get the bride and groom to come on over. We've got some chairs over here. The rules are easy. Both will be asked a question about the relationship, and each of you will hold up the shoe of the person it relates to most. When you guys are ready, come on over. All right, you two ready? Okay, so first question. Who wears the pants in the in the relationship? I'm glad we agree. Okay, who is the most likely to have a hangover after the wedding today? They're both getting into it tonight. Okay, who has the wildest group of friends? Come on, guys. Okay. Who snores the loudest? Okay. Okay, so that's, sorry. Who plays on their phones the most? Yeah. Interesting fact, even though she's on her phone all the time, she does not message or call anyone back. Yeah. Okay, who acts like the bigger baby when they are sick? That was really quick, Bailey. Yeah, we all know it. It's what happens when you're a single boy in family, eh? Okay, who starts the most arguments? Ooh. Okay, well, she agrees. Okay, who burps the most or the loudest? Okay, who made the first move? I'm not including Cameron. Who made the first move? Okay, yeah, stepped up, okay. Who was the biggest nerd in high school? This is a really difficult question because they were both really big nerds. Come on, Bailey, yes, own it. And we love the nerds. The nerds are the best. Okay. Who is the best kisser? Oh, snap! Okay, Stephane. All right. Who has the worst hearing, selective or not? Okay, good. Who is the most clumsy? Yeah, we know that. Who is the best dancer? Yes, bitch, yes. We gonna find out tonight, though. Okay, who talks to themselves more? Yeah. Internal monologue is interesting when it comes out of your mouth. Who is the most likely to get lost when traveling? Okay. Who has the most patience? Yeah, I think so too. Good. And who loves the other the most? All right, guys, good job. Bailey and Stephane, thank you so much. Okay, so Bailey and Stephane will now cut the cake and pass it around. Then we're on to the first dances. So the cake's down there and they'll get to it in a moment. To the dance floor, Bailey and Stephane Levesque.
Colors and promises, how to be
Now look at you, I've turned around and you've almost grown. Sometimes you're asleep, I whisper I love you in the moonlight at your door. As I walk away, I hear you say, Daddy, love you more. Beautiful baby from the outside in, chase your dreams, but always know the road that'll lead you home again. Go on, take on this whole world, but to me, you know you'll always be my little girl. Someday some boy will call me.
Okay, next we've got Stephane and Andrea.
Can I have this dance with you one more time? Before I start down the road of my brand new life. There's no way to thank you for all that you have done. No matter how old I get, I will always be your son. We're riding trikes on my dirt bikes and crashing in the sand. I probably scared you half to death. Hey mom, look, no hands. You were my best friend. You were my #1 fan. Oh, every time that I got hurt, you were there to hold my hand. Oh, I may not call you as much as I should. I may not say I love you as much as I could. But you've got to know, well, this one thing is true. The person I've become and all I am, I owe it all to you. I owe it all to you. All to you. When I left home, I was wild, I was free. I made every mistake you could make, but you still believed in me. Looking back, I was a rat when I thought I knew it all. But every time that I fell short, well, you were there to catch my fall. You taught me how to give and how to be a man. Well, there was love in all you did, and now I understand. When you're far away from me, we'll just play this song out loud. And when you think of me, well, I hope I made you proud. I may not call you as much as I should. I may not say I love you as much as I could. But you've got to know, well, this one thing is true. The person I've become and all I am. My life, my wife, my family, and my friends. I owe it all to you. I owe it all to you.
Thank you, Stephane and Andrea. Can we give everybody a